And that was the Brick Bodies demo team at the Towson Town Festival. Joining us today are owners Victor and Lynn Brick, along with Dr. Alan Teen, Chief Science Officer of the John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation. Welcome, everyone.
Well, thank you very much.
Victor, let's start with you. You have a very personal connection to this foundation that you're starting. Tell us about it.
Well, my brother John, my older brother John, suffered from schizophrenia his entire life. And he succumbed to complications from the disease about 4 years ago. And at no time during all of the time that he was being treated for for this illness, and he was in almost every institution in the state of Maryland, was exercise ever included as part of his formal treatment. He'd do some exercise loosely on his own, but he never really, it was never encouraged or included. And once we got into the fitness industry and saw how much exercise not only improves physical appearance but also mental health and outlook and attitude, we realized that it was part of the overall treatment of mental health that was missing.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn, tell me about when this connection clicked for you too, in terms of the mental health and the exercise.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a former shock trauma nurse, and understanding movement and medicine and how really there's a huge connection between not only the healing process but also the prevention process in terms of physical health and well-being, but also mental health and well-being. And it doesn't matter where you are on the wellness spectrum, illness or wellness spectrum, it helps to create a shift. And little baby shifts in toward the more wellness side of the spectrum is always very positive. So that's where I've always been very passionate about making this connection between movement and medicine.
Dr. Teen, tell us about the science behind this.
The science, as we know, is kind of complicated, and there are many factors that are related to mental health and mental illness. So our idea for the foundation is to address all those factors and engage with patients and providers, members, other people, the public, and just move the science forward. So some of the factors we know are genes, there's diet, there's educational experiences, there's child care, stress, substance use, substance misuse. These are all important. They all interact in a very way we don't fully understand, so our goal is to move that understanding forward.
What happens in the brain when exercise takes place?
Well, I can't answer everything that happens we don't know, but we know a lot. So exercise activates cells in the brain, activates all kinds of different things between cells and brain circuits. Other parts of the body, our endocrine system, and just moves things forward. So it's a kind of good stress. I mean, stress we think of as being bad sometimes, but actually stress is important. Not to have too much, but have an optimal amount. So exercise, I would say, in a simple way, it activates our brain in a healthy way.
Okay. So tell us about how people get access to the foundation and who's eligible to use it. Give us some information about that.
Well, the easiest way to learn more about the foundation is through our website, brickbodies.com, and we are launching the johnwbrick.org website, where that will be our foundation website. So that's how people can learn more about where we are right now, and Dr. Tian can explain.
And so the foundation is something I think still kind of unique. We're going to bring together the mission, the vision, and the knowledge, and also web and mobile technology. So the idea is to be able to engage with people, to participate in science and research, and to learn from it personally, but then contribute to data that then other people can analyze and extract more knowledge from. So we are going to be starting with initial, just a very brief opinion survey of Brick Bodies Fitness Club members, what they think about mental health issues, you know, in terms of which are important. And then we have a plan for a program, a 5-year program of research studies. The next will be sort of descriptive, to get information on individuals, what they're experiencing, their exercise behaviors, level, intensity, types of exercise, their diet, their relationships, which are a really important aspect of mental health and mental illness, and other factors, and build that data, analyze it, but share it with those participants, as well as with names removed, with the public. And we're building a collaboration kind of hub to connect with local universities and mental health institutions, So we have the Maryland University for Integrative Health on board to participate, Towson University, the exercise scientists there in the Department of Kinesiology, Johns Hopkins, the Department of Mental Health, and I'm going to be talking with the health policy and management folks next, because there's a lot of stuff at the kind of systems management for healthcare that we want to kind of contribute to, and many others as well.
So you've got a lot of work ahead of you. I mean, it's just in the beginning stages.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Do you all have some upcoming events with Brick Bodies to help people with mental health and exercise?
Well, like Dr. Chen said, we are in the process of doing a survey with our members, and any of the public that would like to can come in as well, so we can get a baseline on how people think about mental health, but in terms of and exercise and how they view it in terms of the relationship. But in terms of what an event for Brick Bodies, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. 30
Wow.
years of being in business, and they said it would never last. And we're having a bull roast on November 7th at the Timonium Fairgrounds, and all proceeds from the bull roast will go towards the John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation. So we're hoping to raise some money at that time with that event. So we're inviting the public to come out, all the members to come out and celebrate 30 years in business and to support the John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation.
Okay, all right. So just encouraging people, even now as they're watching, everybody's into the fitness, taking their steps and everything, but build it into your life as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the one thing, like Lynn said, there's a continuum of mental health, 0 to 10, and nobody's a 10 all the time. And nobody's a 0 all the time. They move back and forth. So this is the type of thing that affects everybody. And we're trying to determine how you can move towards being more of a 10.
Great. All right. Thank you all for coming in and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We are addressing stigmas about mental health with Jan Desper-Peters. Don't go away. You're watching 11 TV.
Hi, I'm Lynn Brick.
And I'm Victor Brick.
We'd like to invite you to our 30th anniversary Bull Roast celebration at the Timonium Fairgrounds on Saturday, November 7th, 2015. All proceeds for this event will go to the John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation.
The John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation is dedicated to proving the positive effects of exercise on depression. It's named after my brother John, who suffered from schizophrenia his entire life.
Please join us and help us establish the benefits of exercise on improved mental health.